arts teacher, author of the Lucia Chronicles, and the upcoming YA sci-fi series, The Elementals, with book 1 coming out October 25th, 2016. So this is a YA book review of Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This for me was a total cover buy after seeing it on Bookstagram, because the cover just has gorgeous colors and it's a city inside a bottle. I think it's supposed to be New York City inside a bottle. So this book, the general premise is Etta doesn't know that she has a time traveler gene, and this time traveling gene allows people who have it to travel through passages. And there used to be several families that carried this gene, but grandfather, which is Cyrus Ironwood, has kind of eliminated these other families or blended these families into his own so that he has all the power. So Etta is training to be a professional violinist in present day New York City, and she doesn't realize that she has this ability until she is tricked and forced into a situation. And then grandfather wants her to find this astrolabe that can create passages, not just find passages. And so she is following clues left by her mother to find this astrolabe. She's joined by Nicholas Carter, who's the love interest in the story, and she ends up on his ship in 1776, and he is a former slave whose freedom was bought, and he's about 20 or so, and I think Etta's about like 17. And he is a legal ship pirate at the time, and he kind of gets sucked into this journey with her because he's a descendant, kind of unwillingly, and he gets trapped in this because he's trying to protect Etta, but he also has his own agenda. So I gave this book 3 stars. It's very long, coming in at almost 500 pages. The things that I liked about it was I love the concept of time travel. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. The Time Traveler's Wife is one of my favorite books, and I just love the whole idea. And Bracken went so far as to put in certain rules and things for the time travelers. For example, when they travel, if you leave on August 15th, you travel to 1920, and it'll be August 15th in 1920. So it's always the same day that they land on. So some of the settings for this book I also enjoyed. It was beginning of World War II in London. They went to some ancient Asian ruins. They were in Africa, and they were on the ship during the American Revolution, Nick's ship. So there's a lot of interesting settings in this story. Some things I didn't like was the writing style. For me, it was just really wordy, and at times I felt like the story was even melodramatic. There was a lot of introspection for pages at a time, a lot of rhetorical questions, and at times that made the story kind of boring for me and detracted from the action. Even at times it seemed a little preachy and soapboxy, and it was just really disruptive to my reading. When I had about 80 pages left, I found myself kind of, how many more pages? How many more pages until I'm done? Because I just wanted to get done with it at that point. So it's hard because there were certain parts of the story that were really gripping and interesting, and I really like Etta and Nick, and I love the concept of time travel, and the conflict in the story is a powerful one, and yet at the same time, like, I just really couldn't get fully into it when I was reading, or like immersed in the story. And for me, that's kind of a deal breaker. It has mixed reviews, I know, and I know that Alexandra Bracken is a New York Times bestselling author of another series called The Darkest Minds. The second book in this is called The Wayfarer. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it. I want to know what happens to Etta and Nick, but at the same time, if the writing style is the same, I'm not sure that I can invest when there's so many other books that I want to read out there. So I might wait and see what the overall reaction is. However, the reaction for Passenger has been really positive. I just didn't find myself enjoying the book as much as I hoped I would. So I don't know, if you like Alexandra Bracken and you've read her other series, then you would probably enjoy this book. If it was about 200 pages left and it was less wordy, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more, because like I said, the concept is amazing and fun and intriguing, and the characters I enjoyed, even though it was kind of insta-love, at least for Nick. I mean, it's still sweet, and you want to see what happens to them. So I don't know if I'll be reading it. This book I gave 3 stars. Beautiful cover, graphic design though. So I don't know. You may want to read it if you like other books by Alexandra Bracken. So in the meanwhile, happy reading and happy writing.